We return with former basketball star Gary Payton, who recently visited China for the first time in the post-pandemic era to teach and train young players hoping to one day become professionals. The legend known as the Glove also talked to Sports Scene's Damion Jones about his career as well as life since retirement.
You were really known for your defense as well as your ability to stay healthy and play a lot of games every season during your career. What would you say contributed to that?
A lot of luck, grace of God, and then the things that made my toughness into me. My father always taught me growing up on the streets of Oakland, California, if you can play, your legs ain't broken, if you walk and you can get out there and your mindset is good, push through it. And we didn't have all the technology that they have now. We had a little bit, but I had a good trainer in Frank Furtado at Seattle who always kept me in the right way. And that's all. I just had a mentality not to get hurt and play through it.
And in addition to that mentality, you're also known for being so tough on the court. Your nickname, the Glove, very iconic. What was it that made you focus so much on defense in addition to obviously your regular duties running the offense on your teams?
Same thing. My father raised me to do that. Then I went to a college with Oregon State with Ralph Miller. He was a defensive-minded coach. And what he said was, if you play defense, at the end of the game, all the time, you know what's gonna happen. I said, if I can stop this guy, if it's one-on-one between me and him, and I get 30, and he get 15, I've won. I give my team 15 more points, because if that's the star, and I stop him, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I just said, forget it. Let me lock him down. If I do my job, my teammates will see what I'm doing, and then they'll do their job.
So with that in mind, obviously you were the guy who was trying to stop the stars from all the other teams. Who would you say was the toughest opponent that you faced in the league?
John Stockton, by far. I say it by far because the simple fact is because I got to play him 94 feet. You know, he was always dribbling the basketball. He only played 34 minutes. If you looked on the stat sheet and you've seen him, he'll shoot 10 times, he'll make 8. He'll shoot 7 free throws, he makes 7. He has 16 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 steals. I look up 26, 15, 5 and 5. How can you beat that? And I played 44 minutes. He played 34 minutes. They beating us by 20, and then what happens? It is what it is. He's got the better stats than me, and I got 38, 5 and 5. That doesn't match because he won that match.
With Seattle, you came so close in '96, and eventually you won a title with Miami. So what was it like to finally lift the trophy after struggling for so many years to get to the top?
Well, I don't think it's a struggle. I think that you run into people that you run into teams. Jordan, I ran into Jordan. They were doing their thing in Chicago. I ran into a team in Detroit in '04 with the Lakers. We were having a lot of problems on that team. Kobe was going through a lot of stuff. Shaq was going through things. Karl Malone got hurt. I think if that team would have stayed there, I would have won a championship before that. My mentality during that time was to win a championship, but championships ain't everything. It doesn't solidify the player. We look at Karl Malone, we look at John Stockton, we can look at Charles Barkley. They're still Hall of Famers and they're still greats, but they didn't win a championship. So I was chasing it, but I didn't have to chase it. I won it. When I got it, I was in an older state of my body. It was happy, great time. I gave Miami their first championship. It was beautiful. I played with some great players like Dwayne Wade, who's going into the Hall of Fame right now in about 3 weeks, that I'm going to be there to celebrate with him. I have more memories for that than anything winning a championship because I played with great players and I did it with a great group of guys.
You also helped Team USA win 2 golds at the 1996 and 2000 Olympics. So what would you say was the difference in going from the NBA rules to the international rules under the FIBA that you had to play in the Olympics?
Big difference because you get to hit the ball off the rim. They play more physical. Referees are not going to call calls. But what the difference was, we were 12 great basketball players. 12 great basketball players that we all came together and was playing against each other, but we knew we were superior. So when we went there, we played that way. But the thing is you got USA on your chest, and that's what we representing, and that's what I was looking at. I was looking at millions of people don't have the opportunity to have the USA on their chest. It represent that. Too many people don't do that. So that's what I was thinking about. That was the biggest honor ever in my basketball career, is doing that.
Now, speaking of the international game, Kyle Anderson from the Minnesota Timberwolves, he's 1/8 Chinese and he just nationalized and he's been invited to join the national team. What do you think about, I guess, countries using this process these days to fill out their rosters, as well as players that follow this path to move on to the international stage?
Let me ask you, is he Chinese? Is he part Chinese?
He's part Chinese. Yeah.
All right, so that's his nationality. So if they want him to play that, he has the opportunity to do that for whatever his race is, whatever it is. So if I was part of something and they asked me to do it, it's an honor to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any problems with that. If they want to offer him to do that, I think he should do it. Represent whatever his country is or whatever he is representing or whatever. If his parents are Chinese, why not? That's what you was born as. So why not take that opportunity to do that? So I have nothing against that. If that's what his nationality is, go and do what you have to do for your country.
Which players would you say remind you the most of yourself in terms of technique, style, and the way they play on the court?
Really nobody. Nobody's can be like nobody. But if I have to do it on defensive end, I say my son. My son plays like me because that's my son. He grew up around me, he grew up around my techniques, and he know it. But he has proven it. He's proven it in the NBA that he's a great defensive player. He went through the struggles for 6 years, and then Golden State made a great decision and got him. Steve Kerr made a great decision to play him. And when he played him, look what happened. He changes the whole dynamics of the Golden State Warriors. He becomes a key player to that situation. Last year, they didn't want to sign him back, fool around and come back and go get him, and they needed him. And that's what happens. And then Golden State wasn't the team they was because they broke up the team they did. With his struggles for 6 years being through the G League, doing things he didn't, 10-day contracts, and getting cut by a lot of teams, he earned everything that he got. And that's all I can say to him. I don't have to give him no more advice. If he asks me, yes, I'm going to do that. But right now, he knows how to do his thing and be the person he can be.
Well, you've been retired for a while, but you keep yourself involved in the game. So what are your future plans, both in terms of basketball and anything else that's keeping you in the public eye?
I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I've been retired for 17 years. I'm still ambassador for the NBA. I coach a college team in Lincoln University in California. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to be me. Just do what I got to do, coach and just be an ambassador and do the things that makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? I've been out of the league for 17 years. I'm 55 years old. My life is good where it's at.